Welcome to Jobbed Out, the wrestling editorial that reminds you not to play yourself by giving people options you don't want picked.
Feed me more.
You guys remember Ryback? The tough enough contestant turned NXT competitor who was a founding member of Nexus before getting rocketed to the moon because Vince McMahon had a craving for meat. Not that meat. The big guy could have been Vince's next big thing if not for WWE's short-term booking backing him into a corner where his undefeated streak came to an end at the hands of Brad Maddox. That'll put butts in the seats. I joke, but actually I was a big Brad Maddox fan in the early 2010s. But Ryback fell down the card, teaming up with Curtis Axel before his eventual release in 2016. He's not done much else since, mostly just tweeting and becoming a plant-based athlete, which is a weird thing to declare considering he didn't become vegan until after a majority of his athletic career was over.
The Ryback had a mental breakdown at Panera Bread. The Ryback goes in there and he literally just stood up there for 8 minutes. And he's like, do you guys have salads? Do you guys have salads? And there's a huge thing right there that says premium salads. And the picture is a premium salad with lots of steak on it.
Well, Ryback has a tendency to pop in and out of the news every now and then for his admittedly pretty out there opinions. Not the least of which, that the WWE will be better off when piece of shit Vince McMahon dies, his war of words with Mark Henry after calling wrestling fake, and of course, that main eventers and lower card wrestlers should make the same amount of money regardless of draw.
Am I the smartest guy in the world? Heck no.
This latest little gem comes from Ryback tripping over his own 2 left feet and face planting in a Twitter poll. Last week, the former Skip Sheffield tried to stir up some speculation and get his name rolling by putting a survey up to see where fans wanted to see him resurface. The options were NXT, AEW, Impact Wrestling, and retire. Okay, now I put joke answers in my polls all the time, so I get it. It drives up engagement from the curious and the trolls alike, but what did you think was gonna happen here? At one point, nearly 50% of all votes were for Ryback to retire, to the point the big guy Barbra Streisanded himself by telling users to stop. Want to know how that went for him? Retire jumped from 45% to over 70% of total votes. Nailed it. An apt result for a guy who both insulted the industry and admitted he wants back into it.
You're nuts, stupid!
And yes, I know, I voted Impact. Not because I want to see him in Impact, but because Twitter doesn't let you see the results unless you vote, and I'm sure there's already enough people who picked retire just to see those results. Now, I feel bad for the guy, I really do. He essentially embarrassed himself out of the business with what were good intentions by trying to bring attention to how little the lower card performers get when they usually have the higher impact, more physically taxing matches on the card. But he did it in such a laughable way that he's never going to be taken seriously again. The guy's reputation was already in the dumpster after CM Punk's tell-all with Colt Cabana in 2014.
Gorilla press through a table, fucking misses the table. Dumps me on the concrete fucking ground. Now it's at the point where I walk up to him and I go, you can't tell me you didn't do that on purpose because you've done it so many times now. You either tell me right now you're dumb as fuck and you suck, or you did it on purpose. And he was like, I'm dumb as fuck. I'm sorry. And there's nothing at that point, there was nothing I could do.
Stupid!
And the only way he was ever going to get back in anybody's good graces again would have been to stay quiet and stay away until people forget. But he couldn't. Now he's gotten a taste of how little interest there actually is in Silverback Ryan Reeves, but I'm sure he's just going to chalk it up to trolls and marks instead of taking it at face value. And yeah, this is entirely his own fault putting retire up as an option. He could have put NWA or MLW in that 4th spot again. He'd still get troll comments and the engagement would have been significantly lower, but he would have had some dignity intact compared to this. He could have gone to other promotions and said, see how many people here want to see me in your company? Not all press is good press, Ryan. Not in 2021. The only way Ryback is ever going to be back on TV in a global scale at this point is if the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia asks for him. And the real shame here? This isn't even the most embarrassing thing a former $1 million tough enough contestant did in the last week. More on that coming up. But for now, I want to know what you think of Ryback's backfired attempt to slide back in the wrestling business. Do you think this was all his plan from the start to get his name back in the news, or did this just get way out of hand? What would have been your vote for Ryback, and if you want to see him back, where should he go? Let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure to subscribe for more, because I want you to be a part of this conversation too. For now though, I better get my shoulders off the mat, so thank you for tuning in to Jobbed Out. I'll catch you next time.